She hit her, a full-grown woman, my wife's mother, with a fist. My daughter's lips split on the edge of the dining chair. Blood sprayed across her flower-print dress. The glass of wine she held crashed to the marble floor and shattered like a scream no one would answer. The party froze. No one moved, except her, standing over my 9-year-old like she was less than human. "Stupid maid," she barked. "Wash my damn dress." My daughter sobbed. And my wife, God help me, she didn't look shocked, just tired. "Apologize," she told her mother, "or get out." The old woman blinked, then turned to her guests and smiled like nothing had happened. We left, and as I held my daughter's trembling hand and walked her past laughing strangers and waiters pretending not to see, I knew something had fractured beyond repair. Not in her face, in me. Back home, my daughter fell asleep with an ice pack on her jaw. My wife sat on the edge of the bed, silent, still. She didn't ask me if I was okay. She didn't say she was sorry. Just whispered, "It's always been this way." I didn't answer, because something colder than rage had taken root inside me. There had been signs. Birthday parties we weren't invited to. Family trips that happened without us. Whispers behind closed doors, cut short when I entered a room. My daughter was always treated like she didn't belong, not fully. And I had let it slide, chalked it up to class, old money, traditionalism. The lies men like me tell ourselves to avoid confrontation. But tonight, that punch, it wasn't spontaneous. It was permitted. And my wife's silence wasn't fear. It was familiarity. She knew. She always knew. I stopped trusting words, started watching instead. I checked our shared account, the one she always managed. Large withdrawals, frequent, always just under $10,000. Transfers to her mother, her sister, but never anything for our daughter. Not school, not health. My daughter was an accessory in their world, an inconvenience. Then I checked the deed to our house. I'd thought it was joint. It wasn't. It was in her name only, transferred last year, quietly, strategically. She was removing me from the story. I kept going. Her texts were scrubbed, but nothing deletes forever. I pulled cloud backups, old numbers. One kept recurring, labeled caterer. But they never discussed food, only money, and nights, and rooms booked under aliases. I ran his face through reverse search. It wasn't a caterer. It was a man she dated before we married. Still single, still rich. And suddenly everything made sense. I was never family. I was cover. The DNA test came back while she was sleeping. A quiet swab from our daughter, one from me. I didn't want it, but I needed it. The results were clinical, cold. Zero probability of paternity, not a trace of me in her blood. I didn't move, didn't speak, just stared at the screen until my vision blurred, not from tears, just static. The child I had raised, held, defended, she was never mine. But I still loved her, which made what came next harder and more necessary. I printed the documents, the bank transfers, the deed change, the affair, the DNA, placed them all in a leather folder and waited until Sunday dinner, another mandatory gathering at her mother's mansion. I dressed the same, spoke the same, carried the same polite mask. Then, when dessert was served, I stood, calm, silent. I placed the folder in front of her mother. She opened it, page by page. Her face turned waxy. Her hand trembled. But I wasn't watching her. I was watching my wife. She didn't blink, didn't speak, but her lips went white. When the last page turned, I said 5 words. "She won't be coming back." Then I looked at my daughter and said 6 more. "Go wait in the car." I moved out the next morning, not to an apartment, not to a hotel, to a place no one knew, somewhere I could rebuild without memory. My daughter came with me, She didn't ask questions, just held my hand like she understood. I never told her the truth, that she wasn't mine by blood, because it didn't matter. She was mine by choice, the same way I chose not to forgive. I didn't leave out of weakness. I left because the war was already won, and the silence I left behind would echo in their walls forever.